Hello, happy Friday, Limey and Crunchy. It's good to see you. Um, I am trying something. I think I'm going to try, at least most Fridays, to do an afternoon training in this group, and then it will be saved. I will save the video probably to my YouTube channel and in the units in this group for future reference, so that you will have like educational trainings for holistic fighting back, as I said in the title, the Friday Fight Back. I think I'm going to call it. But this is all like literally new as of today, the idea, and I'm open to suggestion and ideas about it. And topics. I've been doing, live trainings all along the way. That's not going to change either. I will pop in and out with different topics live periodically, but the Friday fight back trainings might be a little longer and just more in depth. And then there'll probably be something that I will also do some further education on a blog post about, or you might see an infographic about the same topics, just to help give you the info in different forms as you go. So I'm actually just starting this idea off with a topic that is actually close to home for me. Here's why. Headaches are one of the primary symptoms I still struggle with in my own Lyme and co-infection journey. And it could be related to Babesia as a co-infection for me. It could be related to so many different things, but I want to just talk about that a little bit with you guys, okay? So, gotta grab my notes. Stick to the notes, Adele. All right. So, that is the very first thing when thinking about headaches in Lyme patients. They're very common. They seem to happen to a lot of us, and they can be related to what is going on in your body with Lyme, with co-infections, and even with something like mold. That's another pathway you could be going down with your Lyme provider if you haven't already, or your functional medicine provider, like whomever you're seeing. But make sure you're seeing a specialist for this reason so that they can help you get to the bottom of it. One option for seeing a provider is to go to a neurologist or a specialist that specializes in headache management. I personally have chosen not to go down that path yet, and I hope to actually not go down that path. I'll tell you why. I love neurologists. I worked with them. That my specialty in nursing was actually neuroscience nursing. So I worked with a ton of neurologists and neurosurgeons. I have a big, big heart in my heart for neuro specialists, neurological specialists of all types. So I have nothing against them. Let me just say that. Nor is this video, by the way, I meant to say this up front, intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or otherwise discuss illnesses in a way that makes it sound curative or anything like that. We're just discussing for information sharing and for the sake of spreading knowledge and helping each other out, okay? I'm not a neurological expert or a headache specialist, but I've learned some things about my own journey that may be helpful to you. So seeing a neurologist or a headache specialist would be up to you if that's a path you want to go down or not. Like I said, I haven't chosen that yet, and I'm not planning to unless I have to, because I am actually trying to avoid additional medications. And that is a large part of how I feel like they end up treating migraines and difficult to treat headaches and that kind of a thing. And I feel like I'm going to get farther sticking with my Lyme provider and actually getting treatment for what is wrong or off balance in my own body and managing that to get relief, going to the source to get relief instead of grasping at different straws or just medicating for relief. However, I also understand that sometimes these kinds of things can be so debilitating. I have been to the point of like needing to almost go to the emergency room, needing immediate help, like being bedridden for days with migraines, cluster headaches, all different kinds of headaches. I happen to know just from my nursing background that I'm getting multiple different types of headaches. My migraines have actually been, my complex migraines have been better controlled. My cluster headaches have actually been better controlled with my treatment recently, and with some specific dietary changes for myself. So that's part of what I'm talking about today. But I just wanted to tell you guys up front that seeing an additional specialist for something you need in your body or something out of balance in your body isn't outside the realm of possibility. And hopefully you have a Lyme provider. I know I do. I have one that will refer me to someone that, if I need to go that route, someone that she works closely with, that she knows and trusts to be informed about Lyme disease, even if they're not fully Lyme literate, that she knows she could work hand in hand with. So we've actually discussed that. Do I see this particular neurologist that she recommends, or that my Lyme provider recommends, or not? And we're just managing to make improvement without that being necessary right now. So I'm cool with it. But like I said, you got to do you. You got to do your own research, and you got to work for advocating for your needs and yourself and what's in your best interest. So the first thing, like I said, with headaches is, are they related to Lyme or co-infections for yourself? Babesia is a big headache causing co-infection. I happen to have it as well. Mine is now negative though. So I didn't think that my current headaches were caused by Babesia, but that is a place to start, right? Treat the source of the problem. And no, it's not like an overnight fix. Usually some people get relief pretty quickly, but you may not. So you got to keep at it. In the meantime, consider the risk versus benefit of taking over-the-counter medications. There is some evidence to show some over-the-counter medications can deplete or influence your body's natural immune system responses and your detox mechanisms in your body. So you have to weigh that out if it's worth it for you or not. I can't say I've never taken over-the-counter medicine for my headaches, but it is not what I prefer to do, because I don't think in the long run it is actually serving the healing of my body. But again, it's hard when you're debilitated by a headache. I certainly understand that. So let's talk about some other root causes though, because these might give you solutions in the moment. Especially tricks that you can try pretty simply. These ideas should be pretty simple. You might have what you need at your house already. So the next thing I want to talk about for headaches is related to controllable factors, I'll say. Okay, I'm talking about factors like stress, muscle tightness or muscle tension, and or even weather. Okay. These types of factors can be controlled maybe a little bit on your own with certain ways to relieve those causes. Like, if you have a stress headache, what can you do to de-stress? Meditation, prioritizing de-stressing. I know it's easy to say that you don't have the time, space, or resources to prioritize that, but if you're getting debilitating headaches, do you have the time, space, and resources to have those debilitating headaches? Like, what are they costing you? And I'm just asking that question. You have to decide for yourself, right? But what can you do for management of stress, tension, muscle pain, and aches, and even the weather? I know we can't control the weather, but that one's a harder variable, but the weather at least will pass, and that can sometimes bring relief with it. In terms of or even just being in a more like environmentally controlled setting sometimes helps with stuff like weather related stuff. It may also mean you don't need as many pain meds. Like maybe you just need to medicate through the bad weather, and then once that passes, you're in a better place. So knowing your body is really important. Stress management wise, I just want to get back to this. Some things that can help are some nice baths, some detox baths, some essential oils, and essential oils in your bath or applied topically. It's a huge help with tension and stress relief and muscle soreness or stress held in the muscles. Massage therapy, different versions of that. There's craniosacral, there's deep tissue, there's myofascial release. Myofascial release is my personal favorite for myself, but everybody is different. I would encourage you to try stuff like that, maybe even acupuncture or alternative therapies for managing stress and tension specifically if you know you're prone to those types of headaches. I know chiropractic for a while was very helpful to me, and I actually would like to get back into it. I've fallen out of practice with that recently, so there's always room for improvement. So yeah, definitely consider what you can control with stress and tension in your own life. It's not always easy, but sometimes it's just a hot pack on your neck, right? It's not too bad. Hot or cold for different people. So try them both if one doesn't help, right? Okay, the third category of headaches, as Adele has categorized them, is headaches related to, I'm gonna say, nutritional needs. So vitamins, minerals, and dietary things. Needs or lack thereof. I don't know. What I'm getting at are, is there anything you can do to support your body's need for certain vitamins and minerals, and or did you eat or drink anything that may have set your body off into this headache spiral? Whether that's a migraine or a specific type of headache or whatever. Again, this comes back to knowing your body and learning that over time. Trust me, it's not always easy right away to pinpoint that. Keeping a food journal can be very helpful, and you can do it very quickly. I mean, you can honestly just verbally create a note on your phone to food journal and just keep track of like certain, especially to keep track of certain types of foods. I mean, a headache frankly could be triggered by almost, any type of food if it's not agreeing with your body. But if you're at least keeping track of maybe some of the top allergenic types of foods, or the types of foods that might cause the most inflammation or sensitivity, that would include gluten and dairy, soy, legumes, corn, and I'm talking like all kinds of hidden factors here, and maybe even shellfish. For some people, it's going to be preservatives, food dyes, MSG, things you can't pronounce on labels of food and stuff like that. So if you're keeping track loosely even of some of those things, you may be able to pinpoint food related headaches. The thing I wanted to mention in the vitamin and supplement world is supporting your body with minerals. Trace minerals is like super important, you guys. So make sure you're getting your sodium, your potassium, and even more than that. There's lots of foods that have trace minerals, and there's also some great supplements out there too, that are a great source of quick, like ingestible trace minerals, which may for some people cut down on their headaches. You don't know. Vitamin wise, there are a few like supplements and vitamins that for some people help their headaches as well. These helped me significantly. I struggle worse with headaches when I'm pregnant, and I've had 4 babies and they've been pretty bad. My last pregnancy, who's now a 2-year-old, so a couple years ago, that was a really difficult time for me with headaches. I was debilitated by them almost weekly, and I just needed a solution because when you're pregnant, you also can't take a lot of medication. There's very few things you can take. My OB, who isn't Lyme literate in any way, shape, or form, actually helped me come up with some supplements that actually took the edge off and eliminated some of my headaches, which was a huge relief. It included B vitamins. I believe specifically you want to look at B6 for a lot of people, but in general, like I just took extra of my B complex when I didn't have. I think B5 and 6 actually can be culprits, let's say. But if you have a complex, maybe, I don't mean if you have a complex, if you have a B complex, maybe pop in an extra 1 or 2 of those when you have a headache, or if you feel a headache coming on, might help, right? If nothing else, it'll give you some more energy probably. B vitamins cannot be underrated. I already take a lot of them, and I was even on vitamin B injections for a time, B12 specifically, but I tend to be really deficient in vitamin B. If you have MTHFR issues, or just in general are suffering with autoimmune stuff too, or like that's how your Lyme is manifesting, you very well might need to at least get your B levels checked. And get some good B supplements. Just watch, if you have MTHFR, side note, watch the folic acid. You don't want to take folic acid specifically because you're going to have a methylation issue with that. Just trust me. MTHFR needs to do things a little differently with some of the Bs. But in general, vitamin B might be a solution for your headaches. Additionally, magnesium. Magnesium malate and glycinate are particularly good for people with headaches, supposedly. But again, getting the right magnesium for your body's needs is going to be the key. So I actually take 3 different types of magnesium. That sounds like a lot, but I take them strategically. One is Neuromag at bedtime to help with sleep. I believe that's the glycinate. Don't quote me on that. I don't have the bottle with me, but the other magnesiums I take are Optimag 125, and that's just the name on the bottle, and Magnesium Plus Guard, and I take a little bit of both. I used to just take Plus Guard, but the Optimag is a bit more of what might actually be helping my headaches better. So If you're on your mag, great. Maybe a little extra will help with your headache. If you're not on mag, maybe that's a place to start, right? Pretty simple supplement to take. Also helps with a lot of other things in our bodies as we're healing. So I say worth a discussion with your Lyme provider for sure. There are other herbs and supplements out there that can help with headaches, like feverfew and butterbur, I believe. So you can totally investigate that, like Google herbs for headaches and talk to your provider about what is compatible with your treatment regimen and what you may or may not be interested in trying yourself. I cannot possibly list all the possible vitamins, herbs, and supplements and dietary changes here in this one video. So I just want to empower you to do your own research on this one, especially because you're not limited to just meds and nothing else. The other thing I want to throw into this category, because it's like, I might actually bring it up a couple of times, because it is a natural plant-based way to possibly treat your headaches. And it sometimes helps mine. I'm not going to say all the time, but most times it at least takes the edge off. And sometimes it's taken my headaches away by itself. CBD oil. I use a type that I ingest as a tincture, but I also have topical forms of it as well in my home. I have a THC-free version that is smart spectrum CBD. So mine is all infused with essential oils, which boost the terpene effects, which is a fancy way of saying boost the power of the CBD without THC in it. So if you're looking for THC-free, that's an option, but some people prefer it with THC. Again, up to you. Do your research, and it might be a viable choice for you in your life, right? Plus, it also helps with a lot of other things, not just potentially headaches, okay? The fourth thing I want to discuss is the potential to have headaches due to histamine response. If that's not something you have talked about with your Lyme provider and you have a concern about it, it is a good discussion to possibly have. And if they are not knowledgeable in this area, it would be awesome if they could refer you to someone who is. Because histamine responses can be huge and can manifest in lots of ways, headaches included, but any kind of allergenic type responses or just weird things going on that you don't know the cause of. The way I found out about mine was specifically working. I worked for a time, not just with my Lyme provider, but with a friend of hers who is a functional medicine provider that specializes in nutrigenomics, the study of nutrition and its impact on genetics, turning on the expression of certain genes and turning off the expression of certain genes can be done. It's fascinating. I love the subject, the topic, whatever. And I would love to actually potentially work in that field someday as a specialist too, because it's so fascinating. But this provider used the 23andMe test, and then she took it next level. She has all this software and all this ability to read it in ways that like I've never seen done before, because she's the specialist in it. So I can't just go out there and say, oh, do 23andMe, it'll tell you all you need to know. It may not be true, because the things this lady was able to look into for me were insanely helpful. However, one of the things that we discovered was that I had this huge histamine issue in my body that I didn't even really realize, because I'm not a super allergenic type of person. I don't have a lot of seasonal allergies. I didn't even think I had a lot of food allergies, but actually food and gut health turned out to be my biggest component of this histamine issue. So it's not always just the seasonal allergy type of symptoms you're looking at. It's the whole body, and it can manifest in all kinds of different ways. So for me, I definitely do get histamine related headaches. Just think about that for yourself as well. If you feel like you're dealing with sinusy type headaches or inflammation in your sinuses, or inflammatory headaches at all, maybe considering histamine is a possibility. Some Claritins or Tech type allergy meds can actually help with that, right? But other natural options could be, for me, I've tried two different things. I'm currently on Histaquel, Histaquel. That supplement has some of the natural plants for headache relief and histamine relief as well. And I kind of call it my natural Benadryl, just because it seems to work really well for me. Just when I need it. I also take it every day, just kind of preventatively. But I can also take a little bit extra, like I said, if I get a headache or I think it's related to histamine, whether I've eaten something high histamine to cause it, or I don't know what happened and I think it feels like a histamine headache to me. The other one I've used before, and I think I actually still have some of, is Hist DAO, HIST, Hist DAO, the letters. It might actually be DAO Hist. I tend to reverse it, but either way, it's those letters. It's in either order. A good supplement as well. Great to take when you know you're exposed to histamine, whether it's dietary or otherwise. I used it mostly for dietary stuff. Like if I knew I was eating sauerkraut or spinach, high histamine foods, chocolate, I could pop one of those to kind of help negate some of the histamine response in my body naturally. So again, just some options you can use there. There's even essential oils you can use to help with that process in your own body too. So very cool. And the final thing, you guys, that headaches can be related to, and what I am currently personally struggling with, and I have talked about before, and I will continue to talk about if it helps any of you, is detox-related headaches. Whether it be a Herxheimer reaction from the die-off from your treatment, or heavy metal detox, or any other kind of detox in your body, there are multiple ways a headache could be appearing and why. But what that just means is, you still need to detox. Maybe you need to be back off your detoxing, like slow it down a little. And or also, you probably need to support your detox pathways further. Chelation, if you think it's heavy metal related. Mine, for example, is heavy metal related currently. My headaches mostly lately have been related to heavy metal detox, specifically mercury. I only know that because I've been doing Zyto scans and that's what it's showing, and it makes sense. My treatment for it is helping. So it's all coming together for me. You may or may not know without a Zyto scan or without some experimenting, but chelators aren't a bad idea anyway, because if you're not binding and removing heavy metals as you're detoxing, they're not going anywhere. They're just hanging out. Heavy metals in your body, not a great thing. So doing a little bit of natural chelation, alpha lipoic acid is a great way to do that. Activated charcoal helps with all kinds of detoxing. So that is one huge recommendation. You could also be detoxing from die-off from like even back to the mold thing and stuff like that, So CBD and some greens, those are going to be other ways to possibly support your detox pathways. Like barley grass, there's all kinds of like blue algae, there's all kinds of like green plant things that literally can help bind and remove heavy metals specifically, but again, help with detoxing in general. You definitely, for detoxing, want to be high antioxidant in your diet. We use an antioxidant beverage that is the highest thing on the market per like volume of serving size in antioxidants, even higher than pomegranate juice and elderberry. But we also use those things. We eat tons of fresh fruits and vegetables. We do a lot to support our antioxidants just through diet in our bodies every day. It's probably the number one thing that I will not give up ever for our whole family is our antioxidant beverage, our supplement. Like it's more than a beverage, it's a supplement that we use, and like our dietary requirement for fruits and veggies and smoothies, that all that kind of goodness. If you're herxing, this all applies too. Whether, like I said, any kind of detoxing out of your system, you want to be supporting your liver and kidneys and giving them all the love you can give, because they're huge detox organs in your body for you. And you want to be rebuilding healthy fats and healthy nutritional building blocks, and not assaulting your body with additional toxins or food included that's just not good for you. That's not nutrition filled, because that just makes everything that much slower and that much more stressed out in your detox pathways. Craniosacral therapy, lymphatic drainage, massage therapies, all those kinds of things, even acupuncture and other body work can be really good detoxers. Sweating, whether it be sauna or exercising lightly enough to sweat, is a great detoxer. I've talked about this before. I have an infographic about some of the most basic detoxing. Making sure you're having bowel movements regularly, guys. I'm talking poop here. It's important. It's not just waste elimination. It's detoxifying in your body. So if you're not moving your bowels regularly, look into it. You got to figure out the source of why and correct it. You have to. And make sure you're drinking enough. Just pure, healthy water, you guys. You got to drink. A recommended amount is half your body weight in ounces every day. I would say at least 2 to 3 quarts a day for most people, though. Up to a gallon for some. Shoot for that. shoot for that. Grab your big old jug. This is a 1-quart cup here. Yeti makes these sizes, which is nice. So if I can get 2 to 3 minimum, I try for 4 of these a day. It's a lot, but you should be using the restroom regularly, because that is also heavily flushing out toxins in your body and keeping your pathways open. You can include some lemon in your water. I prefer lemon essential oil for a variety of reasons, but you can use fresh lemons. That helps with detoxing. It's a great one to help. Glutathione, I've talked about before, as a supplement to help with detoxing. Again, may help with detox headaches. Orange essential oil in particular can be really helpful for some people in boosting glutathione production. So just a side note, enhancing the power of what you're using the power of plants and natural things. So there are so many ways to detox baths, foot baths or regular baths. If you haven't caught my video on foot potatoes, that's another possible detox pathway helper, not supported by science, but doesn't hurt to try and has proven very helpful in our household in a lot of ways. So if you don't know about foot potatoes, you're going to want to go to my YouTube channel and check that out. I will make sure my YouTube channel is linked in the description. But detox headaches are, I think, more common than we realize, and definitely worth getting to the bottom of, because there are ways to create open pathways in your body to help regulate that detox. And I have not had to take medication for my detox headaches over the counters since I started to get to the bottom of the cause. And I've been able to manage with natural methods and eliminate headaches when they begin. And my headaches are becoming less frequent too, on top of it. So I just stand here as an encouragement that, like, it's taken me years to even get to this point of understanding my body better and better, but it's worth the knowledge, and it's worth continuing to push and find answers for yourself, my friends. Okay. Headaches are yucky. I know I suffer with you, and now, vote healing for all of us. Okay. It's possible. It's doable. It just takes more work than some other people maybe, but we can get there. Okay. So I hope this Fight Back Friday training has been helpful to you to learn a little bit more about causes and solutions for headaches in a holistic path specifically. But I am 100% open to questions, suggestions, and thoughts about the topic and other topics. So pop them in the comments below. And I'm going to make sure that this video is also featured in YouTube. So over there, you can subscribe and like, hit the button, the bell button for notifications when I have videos up and when I am on YouTube putting up new fabulous content for you. So you're going to want that. Promise. All right, my friends, have a fabulous Friday, fighting back all the way, because you own your health. You've got this. You're here to enjoy and embrace the journey, because it's possible. The healing journey is yours to have. Talk to you later.